Hi guys, I'm Shmi and today we're back at Topaz Detailing. Now this time though, it's not for the McLaren. Of course, I've recently shown you the videos when we brought the car here. In fact, I took delivery of the car right here before the detail and full coverage paint protection film. That's all complete and a wonderful job has been done. But next up, it's time to give some life back to the FF to rejuvenate the paintwork. This car's actually now between 4 and 5 years old, so it doesn't necessarily look it, but obviously it's done 20,000 miles. The paint sort of had its share of the sort of weather and the elements, and it's time to make it look awesome, as well as putting on a front-end paint protection film kit ready for the upcoming tour I've told you about with the McLaren, the GT4, everything else, so I don't want it to get chipped or damaged. Now the car, we're going to take it inside and do a full look around and show you all the sort of little problems and niggles with the paintwork and what we're going to work on before we give it a level 3 detail. It's going to start off with a wash, then it will have the detail, and then we'll be applying the protection film. So it's time to give the FF some life back, make that Le Mans blue paint look brilliant. It deserves it, and this is long overdue. I've been wanting to do this, in fact, pretty much since I got the car. But we're here now, we're at Topaz, time to take it inside, get it washed, and have a look. Doesn't it look good without the front number plate as well? We've just taken that off before the cleaning. Do love a Ferrari V12. Wheels first. They get a good scrub. This is Iron X being sprayed over the parts of the car that are going to have protection film. So that's going to be on the front bumper, the bonnet, the wings, the door mirrors, and the side skirt. And that's going to loosen up contaminants and clean up the surface, and we'll be able to watch it bleed. Well, the good news is that we don't actually have any puddles underneath the car of the Iron X. So it's a little bit cleaner than we thought. But you can see that in some of my other videos of cars we've cleaned here. Now it's time to rinse off the remains. And now it's the snow foam. This is always one of my favourite bits of cleaning a car just because it looks hilarious. You do this just because it can completely loosen up any contaminants that you find on the car, in the gaps. But just look as it turns white, it's so funny. Any excuse to have a look up front. The engine gets a little clean up as well, and the brushes are used because they can get into parts that the washing might not necessarily. But a Ferrari V12, one of the best engines that exists. That process continues around the car for exactly this reason. Look how dirty it is inside that gap at the bottom of the window. Obviously you want to get rid of that, but the jet wash won't normally be able to get there. After the rinse, it's shampoo. And finally, a dry. Microfiber cloths to clean off the water from the surface before we bring the car inside and take a proper look around and study how the paintwork is at the moment. The car enters the detailing bay. In case you're wondering, the reason it is so loud is because the valve is off for extra volume. The car's now in the detailing bay and the guys have been over having a look. We're actually joined now by Nabil, co-founder of Topaz.
Hello, how are you doing?
Something different today.
It is different. It's used.
It's used, it's definitely used. So Nabil's just been pointing out to me some of the things that are wrong or developed with the car. Can we take a quick sort of walk around and show?
Definitely, yeah. Well, the first thing I can say is that this car has definitely been used well, which is good.
Yeah, that's what it's for, right?
Which is different to the other cars they usually bring us, but it's...
yeah, normally they're delivery miles. So I mean, that's actually one of the key points. We should just talk about that for a second.
Yeah,
this is something you can do to bring cars back to life.
Yeah.
I mean, this car is just shy of 20,000 miles, 4.5 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't know what can be done to an older car.
Yeah, exactly. I've only ever shown brand new cars going through a new preparation with PPF.
Yeah.
But cars that are used pick up some problems. And we're going to show them now, and I'm going to cringe big time because I don't like seeing the car like this. So
basically, I mean, with the problems I usually get from driving the car, normal swirl marks from incorrect washing techniques, things like that. But what we'll do, this car is actually quite good because there's a lot of examples that show different defects on this car. So the first one is tree sap, fallout.
Yeah, so we've got the two little blemishes on there.
Yeah, so that's a good one to show, which has stained the clear coat. Again, this bit here is bird dropping.
That's kind of desperately obvious.
Yeah.
So that's where a bird has done its business on the paintwork and it basically has just been so acidic. Basically, you have to feel sorry for the bird that did that, but unfortunately the paintwork suffers as a result.
The funny thing is it really depends on what the bird has eaten that day.
Yeah.
And that will then define whether it goes through the paint fully or if it just stains it like that.
Yeah. Well, better like that than destroying it completely.
Exactly. So then you have obviously swirl marks that you usually have. So I'll shine my sun gun on and you'll be able to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And this is all from incorrect washing techniques. So where the wrong wash bit has been used, or if there's grit, and that's had an effect on the clear coat.
I mean, this car's obviously been washed many times, but one of the crazy things I know from experience is when we then point the torch back at the car post-detail, it's going to have a very different image when we do that.
Exactly. And you see, you also, part of, so this is swirl marks, that's what comes with incorrect washing techniques. You also have light scratches, like that one there.
Yep. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and these happen
that's probably just a bag brushing past the car or something.
Exactly. Even
from the street.
Someone walking past it, could be anything. Again, some more light scratches there.
Yeah. They're very visible when you know what you're looking for.
And then you've got obviously more swirl marks all the way down. It's more evident on a big panel like this. You really get to see. They look like loads of spider webs.
Yes,
all the way around. And the effect that you have from this, with having so many swirl marks, essentially is like 1,000 or million scratches, tiny scratches all over.
Yeah.
It creates a grey tinge on the clear coat, so you don't see the paint properly. It doesn't pop through. Then here, moving on to another defect, which is very common to see even on brand new cars, are holograms.
Yeah, so the sort of lines you get coming out from the light source. Yeah, we can see that. Oh, there we go.
You get to see
the hologramming, which basically, and I know this because we just did it on the LT, of course, that's the sort of the light not reflecting correctly. And if you fix that, you get a much clearer sort of impression of the colour bouncing back off the car when it's been done.
Yeah, it's just that the clear coat hasn't been treated correctly in terms of paint correction. So the car went through a paint correction process at factory, but it's very coarse paint correction, and they leave it as that. Yeah. So that's what that is.
Okay, well, this was the not so fun part of this, seeing all the problems. But we're going to go back over those same problems afterwards, and hopefully they're all going to be perfect. So first up is masking, and then it'll be on to the detailing.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be really, really nice. This colour comes out stunning once it's done.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to see what you think after it's been done.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for showing us around.
It's all right. Pleasure.
Masking has started, and the reason you mask up the car is to protect everything from the machine polisher and also to keep a little bit of the dirt in if there is anything left. So you mask up the different sort of rubber strips around the windows just like this so that you can get right into the edges with the machine polisher without damaging the rubber. You protect sort of other parts or panels or glass or wheels, and you're going to see the car taking a slightly different look when all of the parts are covered up. All masked up for now. So next up is going to be the detailing. Now the detailing has started, and there are two stages to this process. We're going to take a look at them each in turn. And first up is the first sort of round over the entire paintwork with the machine polisher. And this is basically sort of the cutting stage before you then polish it afterwards. And what this means is as we come round, you can start to see probably that the reflections on the car are looking very, very nice. Now here's one we made earlier, and take a look at this. So you've literally got the before and after. So if I move with the light around here, you can see the pretty horrendous swirl marks, how it looked before. And then watch as we come across to this side. That's how the paintwork looks now. It's almost a perfect reflection. This is absolutely fantastic, and that is how you bring a car back to life, and that's just the first stage. It obviously will be polished up afterwards, but just the difference is incredible. Anyway, let's move over to the machine polisher and see how this works. You start off with a cutting compound, which you put a little bit on the paintwork, as you can see there, and that will still leave a bit of room for refinement afterwards. Fast forward a fair bit of time and stage 1 is complete. So now we're going to be moving on to stage 2, which is also going to include some sort of smaller machine polishing and refinement, so we can get into awkward places like around here, around the grille, and around here on the mirror arms as well. So we'll be able to get to those parts as well as a sort of finer finish to get out some even smaller little scratches, which I won't be able to show you on the camera because you can barely see them. This is really sort of being microscopic with the detail and level of this. So the second round is going to be a finer sort of polish, to get at those extra parts and get it looking even better. Just look at how crystal clear the reflection is in the bonnet. This is stunning. You can't really describe quite how good the paint looks as a result of this. It just brings it to life. So much more depth to the colour. You can even bring the sort of headlights to glory as well, and the coverings and those. This is fantastic. While stage 2 is being completed on the FF, I've brought the McLaren in for a quick maintenance wash, which is of course an ongoing thing that Topaz can offer for cars with full paint protection film. Then we're going to take the car over to the new unit and check out the expansion of Topaz. We're at the new unit and it's going to be christened right now with 2 MSO LT Spiders. So we've got the Narmo white car just heading in now, and then mine is very shortly going to follow it. And in we go. Now this is quite exciting. We're going to be catching up with Nabil again, who's just driving my car at the moment, because this is currently work in progress. But let's find out what is going on. We're in, and this is all looking pretty exciting. Tell us what's going on.
It's exciting times for Topaz. This site is our 3rd expansion, and we're expanding our business to cater for the demand of paint protection film and detailing.
Yeah, well, paint protection film especially, ever-growing industry.
Yep.
I mean, my experiences alone are telling me that I'll never have it any other way for a reason we're going to see in a moment. But expansion is great. I mean,
it is. We've got a lot of clients who didn't know about paint protection film before. Now they do, and once you know about it, it's a no-brainer. You just gotta put it on.
Let's come and have a look at this. So we've just done full paint protection film on the LT, as the viewers will know, and I've just turned on the light on my camera to come in and show something on the front bumper. Down here, we have a little stone chip to the film on the front edge. Now this is very standard of driving, and that happened, I think, about 175 miles on the clock. Had I not done the film, I think it goes without doubt that would be a respray of a fair chunk of the car, and with a paintwork like this, that's not easy. No. So that is why people should have this stuff from completely brand new, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Whereas, you know, I'm going to go off on this road tour, come back, and hopefully we can just change that over, and it's a short sort of operation to do.
It's half an hour job just to replace that.
So it's half an hour to fix a stone chip, instead of like a week or two in a workshop, followed by letting the paint settle, followed by
thousands of pounds to pay.
Yes, all of that. So yeah, it serves a pretty good purpose. And so we'll come back here after that trip We're going to see how all of this is growing.
No, exactly.
What else is going to happen
at the moment? It's a building site. We literally just took it, and we thought it'd be nice to have these two cars being the first cars we put in here.
I think it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I feel honoured.
Yeah, they're special cars. So it's a totally different concept to what we had next door. We're putting in, there's about 300 lights that have to go in here. We've got a specific area for design. We've got a specific area for handover for customers. So the customer, that area there. So the customer journey will be enhanced even further. Office space, which was really lacking in our previous unit, we have now 6 offices for our staff.
Yeah, business is growing.
Exactly, yeah, and we've got a lot of ventures that we're going to be doing in the future. So we need the space to be able to
as well
expand.
as the PPF bays.
Exactly.
In this whole area.
So,
well, I'm looking forward to seeing how it is. It sounds pretty good to me.
It's really exciting.
And it's cool to have been in here to see the early stages. We'll be back in a couple of months' time with many thousands of more miles on my LT.
Yep.
And see how it's all going.
Yep. And loads more cars.
And it will be full.
And less wood.
more painting and lights. Well, thanks for showing us. We'll head back over now and check check how the FF's doing. The FF's going out for a rinse, but how cool is it how you can completely see my reflection? That's awesome. And that. I can literally hear you guys asking, why do you wash it again? Well, after using the machine polisher and the different compounds, you actually need to get out all of the sort of stuff that's left over, the compound residue, from the gaps and everything before we put the protection film on. Otherwise, it's going to get trapped underneath. So you use the snow foam as before to loosen it all up, get it all out, then the car can go back inside, we can inspect it, and then it will be PPF. The detailing part of this process is now complete. So let's take a little look around. It will get a final touch up after the PPF that we'll be showing you. I'll be popping back tomorrow, but we're again with the light. So let's take a little look around this, because basically the car paintwork now just looks brilliant. It is super clean and sharp. Hologramming has gone. If we come around here, I mean, you saw earlier the before and after, the scratches on the door, all gone. And now we've just got this sort of completely lovely finish all over. In fact, the reflections are just brilliant. You can see everything in that. Back here, where we had the tree sap, completely gone. I couldn't tell you exactly where that was. And then where we had the rather unfortunate bird again, no signs of that at all. In fact, I mean, you can just see the paintwork has gone from being very, very scratched from a couple of years of not being loved particularly before it was in my hands, to now just looking brilliant. I mean, light scratches were everywhere, and now they are completely gone, and we're left with this beautiful, beautiful finish. Obviously, some final touches from the rinse, just the water that needs to be cleaned up, but that will be done after PPF, because PPF, as you've seen from my other videos, is a wet process. So that's all going to be coming up next. We'll have a quick little look at the PPF process. Obviously, we've just completed it on the McLaren too, and then it's going to be go time. So let's catch up with you again with the PPF. Update time and swift progress is being made. The guys have already done the front wings on the car with PPF, but we're going to join the process for the front bumper. You can hear there's a lot of machining going on in the background, cars being brought through the workshop at the moment, but first part of this is to prepare the surface. I showed a little bit more detail about how this works when we were doing the LT Spider, so check that out if you want to see everything. We'll just take a quick glance as the front bumper goes on. A quick summary of how this all works. You've got two solutions. Slip solution that lets you move around the protection film and sort of position it right in place. And then you use fix solution that will sort of, when you squeegee out, stick down, sort of activate the glue, and then the protection film will stay. So you go all the way around, working around every bit, sort of carefully positioning everything and working it all together. And we'll keep going. And not too long, the front of the car will be done. The first part of the bumper is down, which is on here, and now we do the lower section. So this is pre-cut, pre-templated, and can literally connect up to where the sort of top part is and feed around these lower sort of joins So before even starting on this, you have the sort of templates for the car, all the different parts. You know, what do we have here? The mirrors, so that's the FF door mirrors, and everything is shaped and ready to go straight on. So that will go down, fits in around the grille, as you can see being done at the moment. And then it'll be a case of working backwards. So we've already got 2 parts of the bumper, the 2 wings, the bonnet. We're gonna have the headlights, the skirts, and the door mirrors for what is sort of a front end and sills protection package, which is sort of like, obviously a little bit less expensive than doing full coverage. Protects the vulnerable areas of the car, especially for a trip like this is going on. Fast forward a bit and we are complete. So the PPF has been applied to all of the areas I mentioned earlier. The interior has been detailed and we've stuck the number plates on. So we're going to be taking the car outside in a moment, but just let's take a quick look around it in here, because this is as fantastic as it is ever going to look. The reflections, the paint quality is just exceptional. The front end, of course, completely protected from stone chips too. Just walking around, I mean, when you think of how this looked when I brought it in to now, it's just a transformation, a truly epic transformation in terms of the paint quality and finish, and it just makes the car look so much more vibrant. The paint depth is, I mean, you're seeing it as I walk around, the way the color changes, the pearlescent finish. This is a desperately sort of complicated paint job to start. Ferrari's Le Mans Blue, or Blue Le Mans as they would say, is a fantastically expensive option when you buy the car new. And now it is allowed to look how it should look, and it will stay like this throughout the trip. I mean, you can't even tell, obviously, the film is on. It's not on the door, it is on the front wing. Makes no difference at all. Door mirrors have protection film. The side skirt has film, the headlights do as well. So on the upcoming tour that I'm going to let you a little bit more into, this is going to stay looking as gorgeous as it does right now. Take a look at the inside, which still has just protection on before the car goes back out, of course. But the leather, crema leather, tidied up nicely. Just everything made to look unbelievable. This is like a new car. I mean, remember guys, this is a 4.5-year-old car that's done 20,000 miles. I think genuinely, if you didn't know, and I just showed you the car and you were standing next to me, you would assume this thing was 6 months old, a year at most, and almost brand new. You look around it, and there are so many small things that you wouldn't necessarily think about, but the attention to detail to bring every one of them up to scratch, not just the basic detail, it's the focusing on every minor, little, tiny imperfection and making it perfect is what is sort of all goes into this sort of paint corrective detail. The level 3 here, so we're going to take the car outside and then we'll have a look at it under, I don't think we've got sunshine or much sunshine, but we'll have a quick look at it out there before wrapping up from here today. But I'm just blown away. Okay then, we are complete. The detail at Topaz is all finished and I'm just speechless. Looking at the car out here, the depth of the paintwork is in a different league to how it looked before. The car is just stunning and it's gonna look even better when it's off on the adventures that are coming up very shortly. In fact, the next video that follows this one is gonna be the full detail of my upcoming tour and everywhere I'm going with the FF and the reason we've done PPF on the car, along with all of my other cars as well. All 5 are going abroad. This is gonna be crazy. There's some pretty insane stuff ahead. But of course, a big thanks goes to Topaz for getting this done to such a high standard and quality. It just looks amazing. This is what the car needed, being revived and brought back to life. Just looking perfect, just looking exactly how it needed to look and should have looked from the word go, how a new car looks. I'm so happy with the results. Wonderful job, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit behind the scenes of the detail and how all of that side of this works as we got it ready for the upcoming tour. So we'll be back here to come and catch up with Nabil, see how the new unit is going and have the McLaren's front end changed, and hopefully the Ferrari's still looking immaculate as well. But all of that in due course. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks again to Topaz. All of their links down below. Do go and check them out. That's it for now though. I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers.